Today I'm going to show you how to play a Pokemon pre-release tournament. There will be timestamps in the video if you want to go ahead and skip forward to the most relevant parts of the video. This video is going to go through, number one, how to find a pre-release, what to expect, how to build a pre-release deck, the rules, and how to play. If you already know how to play the Pokemon TCG game, it works out perfectly for you because you already understand the elements of the game. But before we start, what is a Pokemon pre-release? A pre-release tournament is a fun way to get early access to the newest set of cards and play with them against other people. Pre-releases happen before the date they are released and usually run for 2 weeks before the initial street date release. You can play Pokemon pre-release tournaments at trading card stores that host them. To find a pre-release event, head over to the Pokemon Play website. Scroll down to Find an Event. Put in your city or your postcode. Set the filters to trading card game. And max the distance to however you're liking. I'm going to pick 250 miles. You will need to scroll down through the event and look for the pre-release stamp next to the tournament name. Here's a Destined Rivals pre-release that I prepared from earlier. From the amazing store, the one-stop poke shop. Make sure you get cards from them. You can see the location, details on how to enter, and what to expect. Some stores have different ways of registration, so it's always good to call up and find out how to register as early as possible, as registration tends to sell quite fast. Now, let's get to what you can expect there. Pre-releases can be daunting if it's your first time, but I can assure you it's so much fun. Everyone is really friendly and approachable, and you will naturally make for fun conversation during your battles. Once you pay the registration, usually $45 to $50 Aussie, you will receive one build and battle box. This battle box has a pre-release deck ready to play. But inside the box also comes with 4 booster packs, which gets exciting. Depending on the event, the organizer might also dish out extra booster packs on top of this, maybe 2 or 3 more. So that gives you a little bit of leeway to work around and building your deck. Okay, so we've got our Destined Rivals pre-release battle box. Let's open it up and go through the contents. All right, I've got my buddies here to help me. I'm gonna use a knife to open this up, so it's gonna be careful with sharps, obviously. Please do not bring a knife to the event. But here we go. We've got the Destined Rivals build and battle box. Love to see it. I've got Flaffy, Charizard, and Squirtle in the back to help me out. We open this up. Here's a little bit of information that I have gotten. There's also building tips and also a card list for the whole Destined Rivals set that's going to be released soon. So usually I put that to the side. You've got your already pre-made built deck here consisting of 40 cards. Okay, I can see here that I've got the Ethan's Typhlosion to start off with. Very strong deck. You also get the additional 4 booster packs, which we'll open up momentarily. But let's open up this pack. Alright, so I've got the Ethan's Typhlosion. Love to see it. You've also got the Trainer's Tips. This actually shows you kind of the ways to use this deck. The path to success is playing the Ethan's Adventure supporter card as early and often as possible. Use the Ethan's Quilava, bonded by the Journey ability to grab Ethan's Adventure card from your deck. Play that to grab even more firepower from your deck, and then evolve into Ethan's Typhlosion. The Buddy Blast attack will do additional damage for each of your copy of your Ethan's Adventure pile and discard. So it gives you a little bit of tips and hints of what to do. You've also got the Gyarados option there as well. Put that to the side. So really, one of the things that you need to do start doing early is to kind of separate your cards and filter through the cards, okay? So my Pokemon I put onto one side. I also put the energies onto one side here. You've got item cards as well, Super Rod, that you can put to the side as well. And here comes another Pokemon. There's Ethan's Quilava there. So early on, we have the Surfer here, which I'll explain that you also have trainer cards that are called supporters, which you can only use once during your turn. You can use as many items as you can during your turn, but only one supporter card during your turn, unless you're going first. So I'll put this on the side. I'll put these on this side. Okay, my Pokemon to this. Got a Starmie, Water Energy. And there we go. We get Ethan's Quilava, Cyndaquil. Got a Buddy Puffin, Cyndaquil, Ethan's Adventure. And this is the card that's going to be the driver card of this deck, Ethan's Adventure. We'll explain that in a second. There's a Great Ball, Ethan's, Rare Candy, important card, a Staryu. So you can see that this deck is starting to consist of like water water types and fire types. There's a Gyarados, another Typhlosion, Magikarp, love to see it. Wish it was the Paldean Evolve one, special illustration art. Quilava, Professor's Research, Starmie, Cyndaquil, Nestball, really important card. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it into your bench, then shuffle your deck. Really, really good card to have. Brock Scouting. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon or 1 evolution Pokemon, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Also a great card to have. Alright, and then you also get a code card for the TCG Online game. So anyone can scan this really. Alright, so you can see the spread of my cards here, right? You've got about this many trainers and trainer cards. These including all the supporters that you have here, and you've got a few items here, okay? It's good to understand what Pokemon you have as well. So you've got a Lapras, Starmie, Gyarados, Staryu. So you want to kind of allocate them in a way where you can see them clearly, because this is going to be a crucial part of when you build your deck. So I can play with this deck, but I'll probably choose not to play it as it is now because I want to add some things in, because I feel like I'm missing a few things that I could really optimize this deck. Okay, and then Staryu, and then yep. Okay. Also, when you get a chance, if you haven't already, you can go online the day before and look at the actual decks that you might potentially get. So you could also like find out, okay, I can see, I have a bit of an idea of what's going on with some of the cards. For example, like Misty's Gyarados. Splashing Panic does 70 times damage. Discard the top 7 cards of your deck. And this attack does 70 damage for each Misty's Pokemon that you discarded in this way. So for example, I have my deck, 40 card deck, but it probably has less than cards because I've started playing. I have to discard the top 7 cards of my deck, and if I find any Misty's Pokemon, it does 70 times damage for each Pokemon, but I discard them. So do I want to play with this? Maybe, maybe not, because it's discarding too many cards for a 40 card deck. Okay, so it's really good to separate your Pokemon and your cards here. Okay, now what I'll do is I'm gonna keep these like Cyndaquils and Typhlosions in one pile there all together, and I'll keep all the water Pokemon as well all together as well as part of my deck. Now what I could do is I could also leave the energies all together, and the trainer cards I'll put to the side right there. So I know those are the decks, those are the 40 cards from my deck. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the cards, okay? And in pre-release tournaments, you may have about 30 to 40 minutes to build. Just butchered this card opening. And we'll see how we go. All right. You can have a bit of fun with your mates if you're there. You can also like do the card trick and pull the cards. You may not have time for that, but you know, it's all about fun, isn't it? This time around. Okay, so what I've done here is I've separated the cards in each kind of energy type. You know, you've got your normal types, your electric types, your grass types, psychic types. So it's good to separate your cards. I'll bring this down a bit. It's good to separate your cards. So when you're looking for cards that you want, you know which energy they're going to be in. Okay. I like to have a system of about fire, water, energy. Fire, water, grass, and then the rest come with like the rest of the elements. But you can do however you can remember it by. I'm gonna guess the energy: water, fire. All right. So we're gonna have a fire there, Applin, Zubat, there, Team Rocket's Adventure Bomb, Morgrim, Toadskrull, and a Kangaskhan, and an Electivire EX. So in pre-release tournaments, you are allowed to use all the cards from that you pull, right? You might get an EX card, for example. You've got the Electivire EX here, for example. So you need to know what EX cards are. If you don't know what EX cards are, these are super strong Pokemon that have a lot more HP here. For example, this has 280 HP, and it does a bit more damage than the regular non-EX cards. However, if your EX card does get knocked out in play, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So just be mindful of that. You can, however, during tournaments, depending on the tournament organizer, they might allow you to use proxy cards, which means that if I pull a hit card, for example, if you classify this as a hit card, I can get like a random energy card and write down on this card Electrovite EX, maybe the move set, but because you've pulled this card, you don't want to damage it, you don't want to, make it any worse. But you can put it on the table and say, look, this is my proxy card, this is what's in my deck. You tell your opponent so they can understand whatnot. So for now, I won't use this as a proxy card because I probably won't have use for it. I don't think I'll get an Electabuzz here, but we'll see how we go. You never know. Moving on to the third pack. These packs are pretty easy to open. They're written. There you go. Let's go. Water. Ooh, electric upside down as always. All right. Morpeko. Team Rocket's Larvitar. Blipbug. Citotl. Spikemouth Jim. Team Rocket's Muck. Matang. Steel. There we go. Ooh, we get a Misty Psyduck for my troubles and a Blaziken in the back. Oh my lord, you love to see it. So this is a perfect example if I want to use a Psyduck that I can use this as a proxy card. That's amazing. I've actually got this in Japanese. I won't do pretty happy about that. I need to find sleeves for this, but I'll put that to the side. Beautiful. Wow, who would have thought? There we go. I was definitely not expecting that. This is more of obviously a tutorial video, but I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. Ooh, Metal Energy. Grass. Ooh, that might be helpful in the future. Chingaling. Golbat. Team Rocket's Archer. Wellspring Ogerpon. Nidorino. Supporter. Gorbice. And there we go. All right. So this helps me know that I've set everything out in a way where it's, I can pick and choose cards and whatnot. And generally, like in pre-releases, you might get more packs to go along with this, but that's okay. I know my decks are there. So the one thing about my deck is I'm not a big fan of the Gyarados, so I might get rid of the Gyarados and I might get rid of Misty's Lapras. I might still keep these Misty's Pokemon, but I'm gonna have a delve into my decks here. So I've gotten rid of already 3 cards, just mental note. And then I will look for some more cards. So there's nothing really that really stands out to me at the moment, except for maybe this Wellspring Ogerpon, which I might just put to the side for now. Well, I'll put it there on top of the regulars. All right. So that's kind of what I want to see here at the moment. I could add no, I don't have any more Misty Starmies. All right, cool. So I only got 3 cards here. I might add another Cyndaquil in as well. Nothing with the Blaziken. And because I didn't get like a Team Rocket kind of deck, there may not be the pathway of me using any Team Rocket's Pokemon. So I've got to look through here and see if there's anything that could be used to me. So there's nothing there at the moment as well. However, I might add this Tauros. Have a look at this Tauros. Does 30 damage for 1 energy attack, colorless, and 2 colorless energy for a clean hit. Does 50 plus damage. And if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, it does 50 more damage. So I might add that in there as well. So let's go on to these mons. There's a Sneasel, Nidorino, Golbat. There's nothing really there that catches my eye there. Let's have a look at Applin, Mini Drain, Dwebble. Look at one of your opponent's face down prize cards. That's funny. No. Anything to do with Toedscruel though. Arven's Toedscruel does damage to itself. Maybe not so much. So this is also the tough part about pre-release is like knowing what to put into your hand or into your deck, right? So there's nothing here that really catches my eye. That's like you should put this into your deck, except for maybe being disruptive with a Zubat, perhaps with a Golbat, but it requires me to put Dark Energy into my deck. So I think the path forward would be to just stick to the game plan, stick to having Ethan's Typhlosions set up and ready to go, paired up with probably some water Pokemon that might be okay. They don't take much much energy, which is good. So I think these other cards are not going to be as much use to me at the time being. So what you do is, you pack up all your cards, or you can put them in any way that you like. So maybe if you want to change your deck throughout the tournament, you can also do so as well. And so you've got your little deck box ready to go here. So now this is the part of the pre-release where you think you've made your deck, and it's now time to sleeve the cards. Before we do that, I'm going to sleeve my Misty for the time being and put it into a top loader later on. These are my playing cards, so I might have to redo that, which I just did that in autopilot, but that's okay. Yeah, you're gonna need some sleeves. Look, it's not mandatory to have sleeves, but I think it's really important because it makes shuffling easier. It doesn't damage the cards as much. And what else you need is dice and damage counters. So when you are playing pre-release, you can use coins to flip tails or heads to decide who goes first, or if there's a move that requires you to flip a coin, or you can use dice. The evens means it's going to be heads, and the odds means it's tails. So when you roll the dice, it's a bit much easier for me. And you've also got damage counters as well. So you've got to have these on hand, or you might be able to borrow someone's, but it's really encouraged to bring your own just in case, or the store might sell them. So it's always good to support your store and buy some cards. But I'm going to quickly go on ahead and sleeve these up. Okay, so I've sleeved all my cards now. That was all done in quick motion. Speedy, I'm very quick. Now you just got to quickly go and count your cards. Alright, so I've got 40 cards in here, which is great. Now the best way before you start your pre-release is to shuffle them properly. Now you can shuffle them like this or do whatever you want, but the best way to shuffle, just because you've made a deck, is to shuffle them like this. That way you get like an even spread of like the cards being shuffled quite easily, and then you can reshuffle them again later on as well. So let's go through this now. Now you can just continue to shuffle as well to just do a bit more spread, or you might want to do that again if you feel that you're not too confident with your shuffle. So yeah, it's really good to have sleeves, and because it does help with the shuffling process, and it just doesn't feel right when you're shuffling cards without sleeves. It just feels very wrong. All right, so you've made your deck. Now we're going to go through the battling process and the battling phase. So I'm going to grab my friend Andrew, and we're going to simulate a battle. See you there. So generally during the pre-release, you'll get paired up with an opponent. You'll have like a table number, and the table number is where you go to meet your opponent. So obviously you say hi to your opponent. Hi Andrew, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And you might want to exchange in conversation. It's always good to talk about what you pulled and whatnot. And at the same time, you can always go ahead and like shuffle your decks as well whilst you're talking. It's a nice little handy exercise that you can do. What you need for the battle is you need one set of dice and a few damage counters like I had mentioned before. So you can get these in like an ETBs from shops, or if you don't have any, maybe the organizer might have some spare ones that you could borrow, which would be great as well. On top of that, you will need poison and burn counters as well. This could be also a helpful tool that you could use to identify if a Pokemon gets burnt or poisoned. For the certain conditions for paralysis and confusion, you can do those specifically with the cards. Pretty much you shuffle your cards. You can give your card to your opponent, and your opponent may want to cut it or shuffle it for you. For this case, I will cut my opponent's deck, and then you can put it on top there for you there. So the general setup and the layout of the card game is, first of all, we're going to start who's going to decide to go first. So heads or tails, Andrew?
Tails.
Going to go for tails. Off screen, it's tails. I'll decide to go first this time for the purpose of this exercise. We fist bump, and then we pretty much now go ahead and draw 7 cards. So from the top of your deck that's shuffled, you can go 3, 4, and then you put your deck to the side there. All right. Basic quick rules about how to play the TCG game. I'll explain it really quickly, but I won't go too much in depth with it because this is just purely for pre-release. But I check my hand and I need to see if I have any basic Pokemon cards here. Turns out I don't have any basic. Everything that I have here tends to be stage 1 or stage 2, which I cannot play as is. So I show my opponent, hey look, I don't have any basic cards. He agrees, and what he does is he needs to put a counter for how many times I don't have any basic Pokemon, which is what we call a mulligan. And so that mulligan means that he can draw an additional card for each time I don't have a basic card. So shuffle, shuffle. All right, can ask my opponent to. All right, do we have a basic? Yes, we do. Beautiful. I have an Ethan Cyndaquil and also a Misty Starmie. So what we do now with the deck is we grab 4 prize cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with the prize cards, you put them to your side. Usually you put them to your left-hand side. And this identifies the prize cards that you can put onto the side now. And if you collect all these prize cards, you win the game. How do I collect the prize cards? If I knock out one of my opponent's Pokemon, I collect 1 prize card as well. So he's got his prize cards there. I've got my deck here. All right. So now what we do is put a card down, face down, and this is the active spot. So this is where I'm going to be attacking from, and I'll put cards on my bench. You're allowed to have 5 cards on your bench. In Pokemon games, you can have 6 Pokemon in your party. For me, 1's in the active spot. I can have 5 on my bench. And then now we flip cards. Let's go. I've decided to go first. The mandatory action here is you have to draw a card to start your turn. So I draw for turn, and I look at my hand. All right, so during my turn, I can play as many item cards as I want. So during this turn, I'm going to play a Buddy Buddy Poffin. And also at the same time, if you want, you can play another item as well, because I'm going to go through my deck, and what the Buddy Buddy Poffin does is search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your card. I'll also play a Nest Ball as well. So search your deck for basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench as well. So I'm going to play these both, call it out. Now I'm going to search my deck. This is also a good opportunity if you have a great memory to see what's in your prize cards, because you don't know what's in your prize cards as well. So I'm going to put Cyndaquil there, and I'm going to look for something else. And what I'll do is, with the Nest Ball, it allows me to take any basic Pokemon. So the one that I put into my deck before was a Tauros. I'll put the Tauros there. All right. What happens here now? I've done that. I can shuffle my cards. All right. I can ask my opponent to cut them for me, place it onto my deck space. So during this turn, I'm allowed to attach 1 energy. Unfortunately, I don't have any fire energies here at the moment, so it won't make sense putting an energy onto Cyndaquil. So I'll put the water energy perhaps on the Starmie here, and I'll put it underneath as well. During my turn, I can do a whole lot of other things as well, such as put more basic Pokemon onto my bench. I can't evolve my Pokemon now, however. You can see that I have a Typhlosion here, but I don't have a Quilava. So even if I had a Quilava, I wouldn't be able to evolve it because my Pokemon need to spend at least 1 turn in play before I can evolve it. I can also attach an energy, 1 energy per turn. So I've attached my water energy. I can use abilities as well during my turn, but I don't have any abilities to play. And because I'm going first, I can't attack. So we're going to pass on to Andrew and say, pass. Thanks, Andrew. It's your turn. And I'm going to put my hand down and then take a draw. Draw for 2. So Andrew now plays a Coughing. That's 70 HP. He plays a Squawkabilly. He attaches an energy to his Cyndaquil. And he also plays Buddy Buddy Poffin. Yeah, put there. So now Andrew can go through his deck and look for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and attach them to his bench. So you can't put this straight into your hand. It has to go straight onto the bench. And this is what he's played. So he's going to go through his bench. He's going to also take a little bit of time to look through what he has in his deck. If he can memorize what's in his prize cards, what's not in his prize cards. And then Andrew's going to shuffle his deck because he's got his 2 Cyndaquils as well. So it looks like we're both playing Cyndaquils. So during this turn, he can play a supporter card. You can only play 1 supporter card per turn, but he can play as many items as he wants as well. There we go. Down goes that's the judge. So let's have a look at what he's played. He's played the judge. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws 4 cards. So that includes me. I have 3 cards. This shuffle that goes into my deck, and now I just shuffle my hand as well. That supporter card can be good or bad in some sense. You can draw more cards that might be helpful in your hand. So he's gone second, so we can play his supporter, which is great. So I'm going to shuffle there. as well. I'm shuffling really weird because the camera's in my face, but would you like to cut after him? No, he doesn't want to cut. I won't cut his as well. So you can just tap the deck sometimes as a no cut. And now we draw 4 cards each. So he passes. Well, he can also attack. Doesn't want to attack.
No.
The reason why he didn't attack because Ember does 30 damage, but it discards the energy from this Pokemon. So he's chosen not to attack just to keep the energy onto the Pokemon. So mandatory turn, going to draw a card. And now I have a couple of options, right? So Cyndaquil has spent a turn on the field. I can evolve Cyndaquil into Ethan's Quilava and place that down. I will put my hand down and then I will use Ethan's Quilava's ability, Bonded by the Journey. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for an Ethan's Adventure card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So put the card to the side there. Go to my hand and look for the Ethan's Adventure card. There he is, Ethan's Adventure. Let's go for an adventure. All right. Now I won't shuffle my hand yet because I choose to play it. So Ethan's Adventure. Search your deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's, Pokemon, and basic fire energy cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So I'm going to put my deck just here for a moment so I can see what's in my hand. And then go into my hand. And I'm going to look for another Quilava. Put that there. Got Typhlosion. Put that there. And I'll take an energy as well. So quite a good card, Ethan's Adventure. It does get you set up a little bit easier as well. I can ask my opponent to cut. He chooses not to. Put that there. And he's seen the cards that I've revealed. Now, I have to reveal them. Some of the cards say you may reveal them, but for this case, I have to reveal them as well. All right, so I've evolved one Pokemon there. I can't evolve again the Quilava into a Typhlosion, but what I can do is I can evolve Ethan Cyndaquil into Quilava there. And I will also use the ability again, Bonded Journey. So I can go back into my deck and look for the card that I need. And I got another Ethan's Adventure. However, I can't play this Ethan's Adventure because I can only play one supporter card per turn. But I'll have it ready for my next turn. In knowing that, Andrew knows that I have that in my hand. So he might want to disrupt it and not maybe discard my hand or something, or Iono, or I don't know if there is. But I'll also attach one energy onto Quilava there. And I have nothing else that I want to do. I've got no other things that I can do. I'll use Combustion for 40 damage and attack my opponent's Quilava for 40 damage. And then pass. And then now it's Andrew's turn. Draws a card for his mandatory turn. So Andrew uses Great Ball. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So now he uses Great Ball, looks through his deck, picks his top 7 cards, reveals any Pokemon he can find there, and then puts them into his hand. So at this point, he's probably hoping for either a Wheezing or a Quilava or something of the case that can help him start to do more damage, or maybe the Bonded Journey. At the end of your turn as well, make sure you reset your cards after you've used the ability. All right, Andrew attaches an dark energy to Coughing.
I'll attack.
And he's going to attack using Ember onto Ethan's Quilava. My Ethan's Quilava, it does 30 damage, but it also discards the fire energy as well. And that ends his turn. So when you attack, your turn ends. Draw a card. Realize that I've got 4 on my bench. But what I can do now is I can do evolve Ethan's Quilava into an Ethan's Typhlosion. And then I will also want to attach an energy onto one of my other Ethan's Quilava. And then I will evolve again with Ethan's Typhlosion as well. I can use a supporter. I'll use Ethan's Adventure. Go through my deck. Look for another Typhlosion. And I'll take all the energies that I can get. So I'll get all those energies, all those fire energies as well. I will show Andrew, hey, look, I've got those cards. I've done everything that I could do in my turn. I can attach another Pokemon on my bench, but I'm just going to leave it for now. And I'm going to use the move Buddy Blast onto Ethan's Cyndaquil. So Buddy Blast, this attack does 60 more damage for each Ethan's Adventure discard in your discard pile. So just going to look through my discard pile. All right. I've got 2 Ethan's Adventure cards. Buddy Blast does 40 plus damage plus 60 more damage for each Ethan's Adventure card. So I do 120 for Ethan's Adventures because I've got 2, and I do 40 on top of that, which ends up doing 160, which unfortunately would put Ethan's Cyndaquil into the discard pile, and having that being felled, I get to take 1 prize card into my hand and my turn ends. Alright guys, that's pretty much how you play. We're not going to go through the whole game because it's going to take for ages, but that's kind of the basics of how you play a pre-release. If you have any questions, put it into the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you can attend a pre-release in the future. I'm not sure when the next one will be, but it's great to have you on the video, and hopefully this helps in your future pre-releases. Thanks, Andrew.